Okay.
Oh, you already got a message from Leslie Johnson saying hi.
Hi, Leslie. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. Hello to everyone, and thank you for coming. I'm Lisa Ashton, and I founded and take care of running Miss Lizzy's Traveling Historical Fashion Show, which is a 501c3 nonprofit under the umbrella of the International Costumers Guild, which many of you are familiar with. So today we're talking about plaids in the Victorian era. So I have a little prepared thing, but first I'm going to go to the share screen and we'll just start looking at some images. Okay. Oops. Who can start? Oh, it never asked me. Okay, I didn't need. Okay. Okay. So is everyone seeing an image of plaid swatches? Hopefully, yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. So most of us don't know the difference between plaid and tartan. Tartan refers to the unique cloth patterns which distinguish each Scottish clan or geographical region. By the original Scottish definition, a plaid was a Celtic quilt or blanket which served as an outer layer of clothing. The word tartan was first used to describe the individual colors and patterns used to weave the cloth of different Scottish clans. While they often were design variations of the same colors, the plaids were actually heavy traveling cloaks worn to ward off bitter cold of Scottish winters. So each clan or family within a clan, since they were in the same geographic area, they were using local plants and local resources to make their dyes that they dyed their thread with. So it makes sense that plaids, tartans would be geographic. There's evidence of Celtic tartans dating as far back as the 8th century BC, and similarly patterned fabrics even earlier. Tartan was actually forbidden in Britain during most of the 18th century due to its association as a sort of a rebel uniform during the uprisings. So under the Dress Act, tartans were prohibited. It didn't really resurface again until around 1782 when plaid became legal again, and it became popular to wear from shawls to formal occasions. As we know it, plaid was later appropriated by British and American manufacturers who created patterned fabric which resembled tartans. Cottons, wools, and silks were all woven with plaid patterns in every imaginable colors, especially after the Industrial Revolution. There were some pretty spectacular ones. During the 19th century, these fabrics made the leap from Europe to the US, where it became known by the moniker we know today, plaid. The Midwest Company Woolrich Woolen Mills gave plaid's popularity a boost when they originated buffalo plaid in the 1850s, which is the really common black and red combination one that we associate with lumberjacks.
Hey, Lisa, this is Karen. Were you meaning to show the swatch picture? Or are you just wanting to show your...
No, I've already gone through a couple of images.
Oh, we're not seeing them. We're seeing your director.
Okay. You're not seeing a fashion plate image?
I'm seeing a folder, like basically your folder of images.
Okay. Damn, this was the same problem I had before. Let me try to fix that.
All right, hold on, folks. Sorry.
I shouldn't have to go to...
Are you sharing your window when you're sharing your screen?
Okay, I'm not sure what okay, I'm confused. I thought I had all the images. Okay, now you see the one with the swatches, right?
Well, I still see the same thing.
But that's the one you're seeing?
Well, I see it's one of them out of like many.
Oh, you're just,
So if
okay,
you,
you're just seeing the folder. Okay,
yep.
so I'm not sure what I should do here then.
All right, let's try this. Stop sharing your screen
Yeah,
and then share it again. And then when you have the option, you should do like see, I don't want to let me just try and do something real quick. When you hit it, it says select a window or an application that you want to share. So you probably want to do the Windows folder, and then you would be like opening each image, I think. Like what software do you use for the images? Is it just like photo viewer or something like that?
yeah.
Okay, so try and share that, like open up the image first and then share that program, you know what I mean?
Are you seeing it now?
No, not yet. Did you
Okay.
click the blue share button? Oh, wait, maybe I have to get out of this. So you're sharing screen and you click the blue share button. Oh, wait, there's something. Okay, so we see your image. So open up your picture. Did you open that and then it didn't?
I'm looking at the one that says that is just a picture of plaid swatches.
So I think what you need to do is instead of sharing your like desktop or the file explorer, you need to share whatever program is opening the image. There you go.
Yeah, but then do I have to do this one for every single image?
What
Okay,
happens when you hit next?
I'm gonna change it right now. Do you
Yeah,
see any?
no, yeah, that works. That
Oh,
works.
thank goodness. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, folks.
I'm sorry. I actually practiced this and it worked. So I don't know what I did right that time.
This is like first day kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
All
This
right.
is, I just put up a new image and this is an 1840s, I believe. Yeah, this is an 1840s fashion plate. And you can see the one on the left is plaid. And they're doing some interesting things on the skirt by putting it in diagonally for two of the tiers to make it more interesting. And this is 1830s. This may be more of a check or a window pane, but same idea. It's a patterned weave. And you can see that they do some interesting things with it on the crazy sleeves. I'm sorry these images are so small. Did the best I could. And this is an image taken from Godey's Ladies Book or one of the fashion magazines of the time. And another one tape, but this is much later, probably mid 1890s. And these are all young girls, but there was a lot of plaid, so it was very popular. Okay, so now we get to some of the things in Miss Lizzy's collection. We're going to go kind of chronologically. This is a silk plaid bodice from the early to mid 1860s, and they used some plain silk bias tape as trim. If you have questions or comments, you can just come out with them, or you can put them in the chat and Karen will transmit them to me. So this is the back, and right, can you all see my cursor? Because what I did here, where I'm moving the cursor, is I actually put a patch in there because there was a big piece of silk missing. So I put a patch of brown polished cotton in to try to make it look not so terrible.
Lisa, would you be able to use the magnify tool on that?
The magnify tool. Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, we just got a request for that.
Okay. Oh, did that work? Because if it worked, then that's great. So there you
I'm
can
getting
see.
good feedback here. Yes, it worked.
Okay, good. So this is the area right over here on near the left side that I repaired really carefully by hand as best I could. And you can see how well they matched the plaid stripes, even where the seams are. So this is a really nice piece. Here's a closer look at the front, and you can see the trim and the buttons and the handmade buttonholes. And this is a closer look at the sleeve. Okay, now I have some cabinet cards and carte de visite. These are all out of Miss Lizzy's collections of things that I've already scanned in the past. So this is a lady, probably late 1850s, early 1860s, wearing a plaid dress. Can't tell from the photograph if it's cotton or silk. She has a nice white collar and a nice little brooch, and this hairstyle is pretty typical of the late 1850s, early 1860s. So here's a gentleman. He's wearing a checked vest, quite snazzy, I think. I think this is also 1860s, so we're still in the 1860s here. And here's a nice older lady wearing a plaid dress, also 1860s. You can tell by this, well, just the shape of the bodice and the drop sleeve, which is pretty typical of that time. This might actually be even earlier. It might be late 1850s, but plaid was very, very popular. Here's a child. Honestly, not, I think this is a boy, but I couldn't say for sure. But this kind of outfit with like a white blouse underneath and a very gathered skirt was popular because you could easily let it out as the child grew, and plaid was popular for both boys and girls, for everyone really. So here's a lady wearing a plaid skirt, even though she has a shawl over. Probably the bodice is the same plaid. This is a much bigger plaid rather than small checks. I really love this skirt. I'm gonna make something. I actually made something sort of like it. There's no way to know what the colors are, unfortunately. And here's a nice father with his children. Again, very nice plaid skirt. And this young man on the left is wearing a very nice plaid outfit. Good for him. This is another one of Miss Lizzy's items in the dress collection. And it's a two-part dress. This one is silk. And you can see the colors are pretty wonderful. So I don't know if there's a particular name for this type of plaid that's got these other kinds of designs in some of the lines. There probably is a name for it, but I don't know what it is. So here's a closer view of the center front closure of the bodice. And you can see that for silk, it's pretty wonderful. It's got some very interesting designs going on that make it very textural. And the fringe that's used to decorate it is also silk, and the buttons are covered in silk. So you can kind of see, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. So first off, I'd like you to look at this very beautiful fringe on a woven jacquard silk ribbon with these beautiful flowers. And if you look closely at the buttons, they look like they're hand needlework covered. And they had all kinds of patterns for that. I'm trying to learn how to do that, not with buttons that are so tiny though, because oh my goodness. And the other thing I wanted to show you is this beautiful micro piping at the hem of the bodice. It's smaller than most piping that we're familiar with, but it's really tiny. And it was actually usually put there for durability rather than as a decorative element. So the other thing you can see is if you look through this little space in the middle here, you can see this beautiful cartridge pleating of the skirt. So here's a view of the back. Wow, that magnifier is a nice feature. I never used that. See, I learned something. You can see that you can see where the seams are. You can see it was matched really well, and you can see the micro piping, and then you can see this beautiful cartridge pleating at the back of the skirt. So this is 1860s, maybe later in the 1860s, where the skirts had more fullness at the back than equally all around. But the colors, this periwinkle blue just blows me away. It's so gorgeous. This is at the hem of the skirt. In back, this is like the center back of the skirt hem. So matched pretty well, and it gives a really interesting effect here. And skirts were hemmed with twill tape. They weren't folded up like we would do today. We would fold it up and fold it over so there wouldn't be a raw edge there. They actually, if they had extra fabric in the skirt as far as length, it would be folded up at the waist and gathered into the pleats or gathers as a more useful place for it to be. And then if you needed something inside the skirt, you would actually sew a hem facing. Wide hem facings, even over 6 inches, were pretty common. Okay. And this outfit came with a second bodice. It came with a ball gown bodice. It was interesting because the day bodice was actually sewn onto the skirt, but it could be taken off and exchanged with a ball gown bodice, which is lower, shows a little bit of your clavicles, your collarbones, and a ball gown would always have much shorter sleeves. So, but again, what a wonderful piece to find because it had both bodices. Here's a lady in a plaid dress that does not have very good matching, and it just seems really off center here somehow. I use this image just to show that not all dresses were these beautiful confections that people wore. Not sure if this is cotton or silk. And it may very well have been remade from a previous dress, but it never seemed to be quite right to me. But I like it just for that reason. And so here's a lady with a very beautiful plaid shawl. And the plaid patterns are showing up diagonally, and that makes them even more interesting, especially matching it with a horizontally striped skirt. How interesting is that? If anyone has any questions or comments, feel free to pipe up. This one is a little bit harder to see because of the contrast on the photograph, but this young lady is wearing a plaid skirt. Looks like the bodice is plaid too. And it was not uncommon for them to put it diagonally to make it look more interesting. So this was a plaid 1860s bodice that I saw at an exhibit at a conference I went to. So not uncommon for plaids to be a light and a dark color rather than multiple colors. So, and again, trimmed with silk fringe to make it a little more decorative. And there's some silk fringe around the middle part of the arm. One of the things that 1860s dresses tried to do was it tried to make your top and your bottom as wide as possible to make your waist look as narrow as possible. So that definitely works with, so that's why when you see horizontal stripes on skirts and bodices, that was what they were trying to do. Here's another photograph, probably later 1860s, I'm thinking. So we have some interesting stripes and plaids here. And here's a young lady with an interesting striped top, plaid top. And another plaid bodice. I wish, well, obviously these are all black and white, so we have no way to actually know what the colors were, which is too bad because I bet they were pretty wonderful. And another lady with a very nice plaid bodice, probably heading into 1870 here, I'd say. And this one's a little bit earlier. This is probably early 1860s. So this is another one of Miss Lizzy's bodices, and it looks similar to the periwinkle blue one, but it's a little different. And it seems to be more vertical. And because of the way the sleeves were made or cut, they end up looking more diagonal, but it definitely makes it more interesting.
Hey, Lisa, we have a question.
Okay.
How common was it for someone to use more than one plaid in a garment? I haven't seen that, but are there any examples?
I'm trying to think if I've seen like a photograph. I've never seen an actual outfit where that's true. That doesn't mean there aren't any. And I have seen a photograph where someone had a plaid apron and a dress made of a different plaid. So if you're talking about accessories, that might be more plausible if you had a plaid shawl or a plaid apron to wear it with your plaid dress. But honestly, I'm not sure I can answer that. I haven't seen an actual ensemble of a garment that had more plaids in it. And linings were normally solids, mainly because brown, real thin, lightweight brown polished cotton was the cheapest fabric, and that's honestly what most linings were made of. And here's an example of that. So the lining is a brown polished cotton or glazed cotton, it's sometimes called. And again, it was very, very, very cheap. And that's what most ladies would have bought if they were making things at home, certainly. Here's a better look at it from the side. This is silk. And if you look at the arm side, you can see the micropiping. This is a very sophisticated plaid, definitely. It's actually more like stripes, but because it also has some horizontal lines, I think it's fair to call it a plaid. And here it is hung up on a hanger. So this one doesn't have any buttons that you can see, but what it does is, you can't even really hardly see them, but it closes in the front center with hooks and eyes that are essentially invisible. And a lot of times they did that. Sometimes it overlapped and used hooks and eyes. Sometimes it just met right in the middle and used hooks and eyes, but that it was to make it look, give it a smoother look. So back to photographs. Here's a cabinet card from Hagerstown of a young family. So this is probably 1870s. And it's interesting. She has this asymmetric skirt, which was pretty not uncommon in the 1870s and was very interesting. So, and she has some buttons. And here's this child is also wearing something made of plaid, but it's not the same as mom's plaid.
Hey, Lisa, we have a comment.
Okay.
Photochemistry of the original plates plus using color filters to determine relative intensities might reverse engineer the actual color.
It might. I actually, there are people who colorize photos and who study those kinds of things, but I'm pretty sure the learning curve is going to be too steep for me to do it. And depending on whether it's a tintype or what type of process they were using to develop them on paper and then press them onto cardboard. Yeah, I mean, even yellow could show up as as almost black in a regular black and white photo. You cannot tell from looking at it whether it's black or almost any other color. So this is a photograph of something that was sold at an auction. So I got this photograph off the internet because I follow some auctions, but this one just blew me away. This is late 1860s, early to mid 1870s. It just blew me away because the plaid is just so in your face. And down here on the ruffle, they're doing the same thing where they're cutting the fabric on the bias so that it looks diagonal for the trim. Oh, I don't know what happened. I don't know if I touched a wrong button, but now
I turned it on because I was supposed to do that.
Okay, because I can't see where I can advance my pictures if it's on.
Oh goodness. Let me see if I can change the settings on that.
Yeah, it won't let me get to that button if this is on.
Okay, hold on.
Okay. Everyone can ooh and ah over this wonderful green tassel fringe, which is fantastic. Probably silk. I suspect this dress is silk. It's really quite something.
I don't know. I don't really know how to fix that. So if you can't see your buttons, that is an issue. So I will turn it off for the time being, and I will try and find a solution.
I think that would be best if it was off.
Okay. Is that better?
No.
What, you still see it?
Yep.
Oh,
It's still transcribing.
can you actually, if you click on the more thing near the end, there's a thing
Yeah.
that says subtitle settings.
Yeah.
Click on that. No, actually, that's not the one I wanted. I apologize. I think there's something that says hide subtitles. It should be under live transcript.
Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Hide floating meeting controls. Oh, hide subtitles.
Yeah,
There we
try
go.
that.
Okay,
you
thank
go.
you. Now I know what to do.
All right, we got it.
This is another image from an auction that I actually bid on, but it went for way over my budget, but I just loved it. It was gorgeous. 1875. Apparently this one actually has provenance, and I just think it's fantastic. Although you can tell at the front of the skirt, not really good pattern matching, because it's definitely a little off. Still very beautiful, and I love the way they did the plaid dye at an angle on the bodice. It's definitely makes it look more interesting. So this lady has a very beautiful plaid necktie fastened with a cameo, which I really, really love. It's quite dramatic against her solid color outfit. And here is another lady who has some kind of a plaid jabot or scarf accessory tied around her neck. This outfit certainly has some very beautiful fabric manipulation done here with these little very interesting rolled tubes around the neckline. And okay, next. So here's another young child where the plaid is used as the decorative trim rather than the entire outfit, and it definitely dresses it up quite a bit. It looks like they even used plaid, very narrow lengths of plaid in some of the areas. But I love that you can see the stockings and that they're horizontally striped. Another child with a plaid garment, quite striking. This is another one of Miss Lizzy's very recent things. Now this is, for one thing, the color is quite startling. But the other really interesting thing about it is that this is wool, woven wool, and it's not super fine wool. It's heavy. So I think that all of these ruffly black pieces were added later to enlarge the garment, because the way it's sewn together, it looks like it's sewn almost all by hand, and the way it's put together, like with these areas down on the skirt, it looks like it was lengthened into a full-length garment. So it's possible it started out as a child's garment and then was enlarged. It's not absolutely clear to me. It's definitely a mystery. And these very weird black ruffly pieces are some kind of taffeta, and they don't really make sense to me at all. So here's a closer look at the shoulder and the seam at the arm side. So it does have some piping, which is interesting, but it's not a drop sleeve really. So I don't think it's from the 1860s, but it's not clear at all. It's still a two-piece sleeve, which would have been the standard for then. But the color and that it's wool definitely attracted me to it. So here's the eBay picture that I was working from. But actually my photographs, it's much more indigo blue. It's not turquoise at all. So here's a close-up to show you the actual wool fabric on the back. You can see that it's very textured. So when I said it wasn't a fine wool, it really isn't. And the bodice is lined mostly, but that's the only part that's lined. The rest is not. So, and again, it's lined with cheap beige cotton. And I think this was homemade because the edges and the seams aren't finished in any way. So this is just looking inside the cuff of the sleeve. So there was a facing, there was a hem facing on the sleeve, and the lining inside that was a light blue glazed cotton, which argues for the sleeves having been sewn before and then stuck back on, I think. But you can also see some of the hand sewing where some of that weird black ruffly stuff was tacked on. So this one, it's kind of a very small piece of this image, but this gentleman has a plaid necktie. That's the only plaid in the picture, but plaids were popular not just with ladies. So this one, she has plaid trim at the cuff, although the outfit itself is a solid color. You can see right down here near the cuff, it looks like it might have been some kind of a vertical strip of plaid coming down the sleeve. And then there was like a trim going around the sleeve as well. So here we are in the 1890s now. And the plaid is much more in your face. And I also love these gigantic buttons that were used purely decoratively. It's really quite something. So here's some different plaids, although it's possible that the older child standing in the back and the younger child kind of squatting in the front, they may be wearing the same fabric. It's just on one of them, it's straight up and down, and on the other, it's diagonal. Not sure. But here's mom in her stripes, and this other daughter on the right side is clearly wearing a dress made of the same fabric. And I don't know about this young one here. That looks like plaid also, so it was everywhere. So this is the back of a cabinet card. This is probably from the 1880s, because that's when the backs of cabinet cards started getting really, really, really more complex than just like a simple picture. But even the photographer's logo is on a plaid banner. So it was popular. Here's another cabinet card, not in great shape, but I was able to clean it up a little bit. So again, this is the 1890s. You can tell by the high collars and the sleeve puffs. And I wish I knew what color it was.
Hey, Lisa, this is your 10-minute warning.
Okay. All righty. Oh, that's not good. This lady has a very nice plaid apron. I'm going to go through a bunch of images a little bit faster now. We can always go back. There's another one of Miss Lizzy's. The outer part that's plaid is wool. And the inner part is cotton. You can see a little moth hole there. Again, we're in the 1890s. This one's interesting because down at the bottom, they turn it diagonally and it looks very different. Another one of Miss Lizzy's. Another nice plaid shawl. This one is silk, 1890s. And this one is wool with a with velvet collar and trim. Probably made by a seamstress because all of the inside seams are hand finished. And this one is silk. The front button closure is covered so that you never really see it, but here's the handmade buttonholes. Here's the back. And this gentleman has a very nice plaid tie. Here's a lady wearing cotton plaid. This lady has a very beautiful plaid parasol. This is 1912. This picture actually has a date on the back. And now we're in the 90s, around 1905, 1910, Titanic era. This is silk, and you can tell because it's shattering and it's not in great shape. Beautiful though, and honestly, the colors are even more spectacular in person. This one, it's the apron that's plaid. This is 1900, and this is the 1920s. She's wearing a checked plaid coat and another plaid coat. Whew. Wow, thank goodness. If there's questions or discussion that wants to happen, apparently there's a Discord channel we can go to.
Yep, it is the same room name as what we're in now, which is Pride of Baltimore 2. So thank you so much for your presentation. It was so interesting. I am going to post some information about how we can save the chat in the chat.
Well, I'm going to go over and navigate to the Discord channel. And if anybody has questions, comments, I would love to hear them. Don't guarantee I know how to answer them, but I'd love to hear them. Thank you all for coming.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming, and we'll see you around.